This is the first script I've had to rewrite from the ground up, as I found that I was being way too harsh and critical. It was coming from a place of emotion rather than a place of subjectivity. I will admit right off the bat, I'm not a fan of these Disney remakes, but there was considerable effort put into this film in some aspects. This will be interesting. The Lion King is a CGI remake of the 1994 animated film of the same name. The original was part of the Disney Renaissance lineup and was such a smash hit it had an impact on our childhoods the size of an asteroid crater. It made almost $1 billion in the box office and is still renowned today. It had the best songs, the most epic opening, and Mr. Bean as a psychic monkey. I mean, what else could you want from a film? All of this was accompanied by fantastic animation and a wonderful instrumental score by Hans Zimmer, who actually won the Best Score Oscar for this. Hear all this stuff? Nah, that's shit. Now this is where it's at. While I'm on the subject of music, can we talk about all the f***ing bangers in this film? Where do I even begin? That's a good start. Then you have this one freaking xylophone intro that I can never get out of my head. Then we slow it down for a spooky, scary song that was done dirty, damn it.
Hakuna Matata.
This was the most popular song of the 90s. Sorry, Whitney. Then we have the other song that got done dirty in the remake. I'll get on to you later. And then we have My Shangri-La Jam. There's half a dozen songs in this soundtrack, and honestly, they're all just perfection. The Lion King definitely had the best songs of the Renaissance. Alright. So the original film is one of the most revered animated films of all time. Let's talk the remake. There's a great video by Vanity Fair where Jon Favreau breaks down how the film came to fruition. He talks about wanting to make it more like a documentary and why they wanted to remake the film 25 years later. Link is in the description if you want to check it out. Here though, I want to focus on something from that video.
What I tend to do is prioritize the scenes that I remember the most. The Circle of Life, you remember all those shots, you remember the Stampede, you remember certain jokes, you remember Hakuna Matata, Timon and Pumbaa. The trick is to make people feel like they saw the old movie when you show them the new one. And if you show them the shots and the moments that they remember in lines of dialogue or songs, it kind of checks the boxes in their mind. And then you have actually a lot of latitude to depart from it when you get into areas that people don't remember as clearly.
In essence, they prioritized the scenes that were most famous over the scenes that people would struggle to remember. That means that it's shot for shot, as well as and even non-song scenes like
Long live the king.
Whereas scenes like and have been altered. I want to talk about these two songs for a second. I understand Jon's method in making this film, but I don't like how it was implemented. Be Prepared got done dirty. In the original, it's a striking song with awesome visuals and adds a lot to Scar's character. In the remake, he goes, "Be prepared," and that's it. Boom. Song's over. Sorry guys. Then we have Can You Feel the Love Tonight, which, while mostly shot for shot, is sung in broad daylight in the remake. What?
Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture.
Okay, I already see one. Give him. Okay.
They're the same picture.
These are pretty big changes. I really don't understand the latter, and I could forgive the former if the film had a shorter runtime than the original, but just like the Aladdin live-action remake, it's 30 minutes longer somehow. On that note, I feel I should talk the changes. In terms of cast, James Earl Jones was the only returning member and reprised his role as Mufasa. The rest of the cast is new, and they're mostly on par with their animated counterparts, with two exceptions. Seth Rogen was far better at voicing Pumbaa than Ernie Sabella. His comedic timing was on point, and I found myself laughing at his lines constantly. On the other hand, Beyoncé is not a good voice actor, period. She sounded great when she was singing her original song, but other than that, she was not good as Nala. There was also the biggest change between the two films. Mr. Bean didn't play a psychic monkey in this one. What the shit, Disney? The visuals in this film are gorgeous. Seriously, this looks legit real. I'm not sure how it's even possible. Here's a picture of Lion King Kilimanjaro, and here's a picture of real life Kilimanjaro, except they're not, because I showed you the real Kilimanjaro first. Goddamn Disney, what kind of wizards are you employing? Those beautiful visuals come at a cost though, and it's a big one. In the original, the animals didn't have to look real, so they could have these wonderful, expressive faces. The f***ing SNES game has more expressiveness than the remake. This film looks beautifully photorealistic, but the animals cannot emote properly, and some scenes really suffer from this. Let's take, in my opinion, the biggest offender, Mufasa's death scene. Look at these faces! Look at how expressive they are! Mufasa's desperation, Scar's snarkiness, Simba's despair.
Yes, we can.
Now, I don't have access to the new scene because I'm no Johnny Depp, so I'm going to do my best to prove my point using the old scene. This is Mufasa in the animated version, and this is him in the 2019 version. Here's Simba. Bop. How about Scar? These scenes are the same, but the soul is gone. This is by far the worst thing about the film. It carries over into the songs as well. Since the characters can't be expressive, singing feels stilted and it doesn't have the energy of the animated version. You also don't get dope transitions like this. There is a sacrifice in changing the core visual design of the film. Sure, the film looks technically fantastic, but in my opinion, it loses a lot of the soul the original had. Overall, my verdict on this one is conflicted. The best way to enjoy The Lion King is to watch the animated original, but that's not the point here. We're talking about the CGI remake. In my other script, I recommended this one with a drinking game, but I feel that was unfair. Honestly, I'd try to catch this on the big screen if you still can. The visuals are groundbreaking, and if you're at home, the animated version is far superior, but despite my initial thoughts, there is still some merit to the CGI remake. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far and liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. It helps me out massively. I know this was a slightly different video, but I felt that I was unfair on this film. Like I said, this was the first script I had to rewrite from the ground up, and I feel a lot better about it. There is a link to what I had of the original script in the description if you want to see it, but beware, it is very negative. Expect a Dora review next, then after that, I'm not sure. I'm thinking of doing reviews for random movies. Let me know your thoughts about that in the comments section below, and I hope to see you in the next video.